What's going on, guys? I'm going to attempt to do yet another tutorial. Had a steering servo issue. If you're familiar with the axials, the steering servos are pretty much junk. I actually managed to get maybe, I don't know, 3 months out of this one. So yeah, let's get that started. I went on Amazon and ordered that pack deal, set of 4 of them for like 20 bucks. They are different ones on there, so I'm trying to open the package. I've done one in my little Enduro over there. I've done one in that, and I've done one in my baby son of a digger, and I've also done one in my red deadbolt. I tried filming that one. Kids got involved. Yeah, didn't really turn out that well, so I'm doing another one. This is my dad's deadbolt, and I'm going to put a steering servo in it from the 4-pack deal on Amazon, which you get this guy. You get 4 of these. So there's the number ES08MA. So this one, guys, is different than that of the one I put in my C10. So in the C10, you can kind of see it up in there, maybe not. So that is ES08MD. So this one actually operates fairly quickly. Don't think I have a battery in it. Nope, I don't, so I can't show you right now. But the one in Son of a Digger is the same one I am going to be putting in my dad's deadbolt. So I will show you how it works. So this is the ES08MA. And wouldn't you know it, my controller's not binded to it. Go figure, guys. So there we go. So that is like rapidly turning it. Now if you go to my C10, I'll quick hook up a battery to it. I apologize, I should have had this hooked up before. Turn this guy off. Alright, guys, so here is the servo, the ES08MD. This is the difference. So you can see how quick that is. Like, it's pretty quick. And now we'll go back. We'll just turn both on at the same time because they're both binded. So now you can watch them. I don't know if that's really capturing it, guys, but the MA is definitely slower than the MD. But anyway, my little rant. So back to the topic at hand, swapping out the servo in my dad's deadbolt. So the tools you will need are, sorry, that was loud, a 1.3 come on, focus, 1.3 hex or 1.3 Allen wrench, and you will need a 1.5 Allen wrench or hex. My camera just is not focusing. And you will need a PH or Phillips head number 1. Right there. You probably can't see that because my camera just is not focusing. Nope, it's not focusing. There we go. PH number 1. And that should cover it. So, first off, it's very simple, guys. Unplug the servo, just like that. Kind of weave the wire through the bottom. Just like that. And now you shall take your 1.3 Allen and take these 2 screws out. Oh, that's not the 1.3. And these are little shorties. They're the most common screw on this truck. They're used to hold the battery tray on, the ESC tray on. Your shock towers are held on by that. Your body mount on the deadbolt in the very back, the hinge, that is held on by these, amongst numerous other things on the truck. Can't really think of them right now, but yeah, they're the shorties, if you can't see that. They're short. I have a pile of leftover screws from other builds. So when you put the new servo in, it's wider, and once I get this one out, I will show you. So we're going to switch to that screw there to hold the servo in, just because, yeah, I'll show you in a second here. So that makes that loose, and now you're going to need the bigger Allen, the 1.5, to take the servo horn off, which you're not going to need again, but I suggest saving the parts if you want to do like a stock build on something, create something like I did with my son of a digger. Although most people just upgrade all the parts right from the get-go when they do stuff like that. But so that's that takes that off, and then you can pull your servo out. There it is, guys, the junk servo from Axial. Now for size comparison, here is the Emax servo, and here's the stock servo. So you can tell there is quite a bit of difference there. So that is why you need the longer screws. And I recommend trimming these ears off because they tend to hit the frame when you are flexing and going up and down over bumps and stuff. So I suggest snipping those off. And I do that with these. These guys are the best type of like snippers I own. Yeah, they're pretty flat, so they get stuff really good. So line it up, make sure you don't get your wire. Leave a fair amount of material left around the hole for mounting purposes so you don't weaken it. And just snip it off, just like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Ta-da! Bam. Just like that. Another thing, because of this wire that sticks out slightly in a different spot, I like to snip this tray off. That's going to be really hard to film, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out and show you, because it interferes with the wire once you get it all in. So these two screws right in the top of the differential take that tray off. These are fairly long screws. And now that tray should come off. Oh, no, it doesn't. I forgot something, guys. The upper suspension link is also mounted to that. So let me quick take that out. Don't know if you can tell what's going on, but I can't hardly see what I'm doing myself because I'm trying to film all this. So on the back side, right above the drive shaft, there is another screw that holds the tray to the upper suspension link. It goes through there. So now this part here is the part that we are going to be trimming off to make room for that wire on the servo. So again, I'll take my favorite snippers in the planet and snip that off. And do the same back here. Just like that. Ta-da! That too will loosen this all up because the servo is wider than the new servo is wider than the stock servo. So you are going to have to force it in there, and it will spread those ears out a little bit. So while we have this out, we might as well screw the new screws in. So I'll take my new screw here, put it through the hole. Hopefully I can get it to line up right. Don't know if you can see that in there. The screw might actually be a little too long, but we shall give it a try. Yep, they're a little long. You can see it poking out right there. But it should be alright. Get that one a little snugging up. And there you have it, guys. Mounted in the servo. Stock servo mount bracket. Whatever you want to call it. There it is. And now we'll go through and mount this back onto the axle. So, if you can tell, they give you an extremely long servo wire. Extremely long. I am going to be trimming this down and putting a new plug on it. I did that to my red deadbolt, and you end up with quite a significant amount of extra wire. I recommend keeping it because if you're like me, I do a lot of lighting, so they make really good extension wires. This I actually made homemade from a bundle of 22 gauge wire. Put a plug in there. So that's the jumper that runs from the back all the way to the front, so that way the lights are in the hinge point back there, and if you ever want to take the body completely off, they just unplug. Pretty handy. You don't have to, you can just run a wire from here up, but this gives you more room to work on stuff. As you can tell, I didn't disconnect the body working on all this up here, so it comes in handy having the wires all the way back to the hinge point. So now you want to put your drive shaft back in. I'm going to do that off camera because it tends to be a battle. So yeah. Okay guys, we are back. This is ending up being a really long video, but anyway, I got the drive shaft back together. I took the liberty of shortening that cord too and put a plug on it. I have a slightly tutorial video on how to do this on some lights. It's the same process. I do recommend getting a set of these. They are specially designed to crimp down the little metal prong things in that side, that plug. So yeah, don't skimp. These are kind of crappy ones. They don't line up very well and they don't crimp very tight. So yeah, I recommend getting a pair similar, more expensive than these. I paid like maybe 30, 20 to 30 bucks for these. You get what you pay for. So anyway, got the drive shaft back in there, and now let's throw the servo and the servo mount back on top of the axle. And keep in mind, guys, that you are screwing into plastic. So you just gotta be careful not to cross thread it and over tighten them, because they will strip out. And we can't forget about that suspension link that I had to undo. So let's go and throw the screw for that back in there. Hopefully the drive shaft doesn't fall out again. And there we have it. Got the suspension link back on there. Got the servo screwed in there. So now let's just go and plug it in. Yellow wire on top, brown wire on the bottom, or white wire, black wire, red or orange always goes in the center. And there we are. Now we shall turn it on and see if we have power. Oh, those are bright. Yeah, those are bright. Those lights are really bright. So I'll turn it. And find my remote. Turn the remote on. And we have power. See the gear going back and forth? You can hear it too. Alright, so that is working, and it always helps to turn it on so the servo will automatically center. That way you don't get your servo horn on there and it all being all retarded angle and stuff and steering not centered. So now we just got to take that off and put the new one on, which I have somewhere, all painted up and ready to go. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and zip that off. Just swinging it around. There's a screw right here, 1.3 hex or Allen, that we can take off. And I'm just gonna probably reuse that same screw. It's a little long, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably gonna reuse that same one. I don't have a shorter one at the moment, guys, so we're just gonna make do. I wish I knew what I did with my servo horn, because yeah, this video is already long enough as it is, so I will use an old one, and we shall screw this one on there. So you always want to make sure you screw, you see how there's gears on there, guys? See how there's like grooves in there? That is the side that will slide onto the servo. So you want to make sure you screw it on in that direction. And this again is a super long screw. I will probably be going back and changing it out with a shorter one later, because I don't like how they stick out the front like that. But in this case, we're just going to make do. And now we slide that back underneath there. Oh, and that's the wrong horn. I'm not doing well in this video, guys. That one is not going to work. Stinking sweet, I'm telling you. I'm batting 100, guys. So give me a minute while I find it. Okay, guys, so these steering servos come with their own steering horns. The one that most people use is just a little long for my taste. If you use the bottom hole, it will bind on the lower steering link. So what I do is I either trim this off, or I use this one and I trim 3 of these ears off, because this length is actually a pretty decent length. It gets that bar, that shaft, straight. It doesn't bind on anything, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop these off and use this horn. And there we go, guys. Got it all trimmed up. Turn these lights off. Just cut those other 3 off. I'm just going to leave it white for now for time purposes, because this video is extremely long. So we shall take this, and again, those grooves go toward the back of the truck, so you want to screw this on this way. And this is going to be a little difficult because the threads are not started. So this is going to be extremely difficult. This is annoying. There it goes. Again, I'm going to be switching this out later, but right now it's the only screw I have at my disposal. And we've already centered out the servo by turning it on and plugging it in and adjusting the trim accordingly. Slide that on there like that. Get your Phillips head. Your #1 pH Phillips, and it comes with its own screw right there. Why isn't it focusing? So that is going to screw the white horn to the servo itself. And there we have it. Shazam! Servo install 101. Probably not the greatest tutorial video. I suggest checking out upper left or 2FM RC. They do an awesome job at tutorials. But this is mine. So let's turn it on and we shall see how it works. Again, those lights are bright. Ta-da! Alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. See ya.